Welcome to Break Time with Breakaway. I am James Jarrett, chairman of the board for Breakaway, and
I'm Kristen Keats. I'm the CEO for Breakaway. And Breakaway, in case you don't know, is a network of bookkeepers and advisors. And what we do is provide all the resources that our advisors just be amazing for their clients.
we're reaching out to business leaders to get advice and perspective in these crazy times of coronavirus. So our first guest today is Martin Moll. Martin comes to us with 15 years as healthcare leader and CEO at Aldrich. Also background with KPMG and just in general, pretty amazing life experiences. So Martin, welcome. And just wanted to jump in and ask you a quick question. Really what I'm curious about is what do you think that the great advisors out there for small business are doing that others aren't?
They're just listening. I mean, we have no answers. And what's fascinating about this, and what I tell our advisors all the time, is in this situation, you're as much an expert as anyone else. And every single person is affected by this differently. It reminds me of the Tolstoy line, something about it. All happy families are happy in the same way. If you're unhappy in your own way, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And that's every single person is touched by this differently. And so the conversations that our advisors are having is like, what is it? How is it affecting you? And how can we help?
Yeah, very true. Well, have small businesses or advisors to small businesses done anything that surprised you since has begun?
What really surprises me with our advisors is just the resilience and their compassion and their caring. And actually, the great thing the reason that it's helpful to have an advisor is you need someone to look at your own circumstances with clarity and with compassion, and someone to say, you need to cut payroll. Your numbers don't make sense. This is going to be rough. You've got to be prepared for it. And having someone else look at that and tell you that is so incredibly valuable.
Kristen, you had a question earlier. Go ahead.
I do. And I guess for running Breakaway, my question is always, what can we tell our advisors, or what do you think that our clients need? How can we be the most helpful to them?
Right now, if your clients don't have, what I would tell the advisor is if their clients don't have a plan, they need a plan. They need a plan for every step of this process. And if you saw my LinkedIn, there was a great article by Dr. Paul Lewis on the 5 healthcare milestones. So forget what economists say, forget what politicians say, listen to the scientists. And there are 5 specific milestones in this journey as we get through coronavirus. And each one of those milestones aren't going to be dictated by anything other than the pure science. Each one of those milestones has an effect that's economic. And make sure that you've looked at those milestones and asked your client, what will you do? How will your world be different for those milestones? And what's interesting, I had a call this morning with a plastic surgeon in the South, and their numbers are completely different than our clients here in Oregon. And what's really interesting is their scheduled volume for elective cosmetic surgery is up by 82% for when they're open again. So right now they're only doing emergency, but everybody's saying for in the South, for this one particular client, okay, when this is over, I'm finally going to have that nose job.
Because we're all doing this right now. We're all seeing ourselves right now.
I think that's exactly right. And so that's a different story in the South than you might have in a practice in the Midwest. So that's why our advisors are so unique, is they've got boots in the ground in their marketplace.
Well, what about those advisors? I mean, everyone's feeling isolated right now, but how isolated do these advisors feel? They're trying to provide psychologist services and guidance. And how isolated are they feeling, and what can they do about it?
It's tough. Chris and I have both had some tearful conversations with our advisors because they are on the front line listening to these businesses and their stories. And so what we're trying to do as a company, which is what our clients should be doing as well, is creating that own sense of community and saying, hey, I heard this. What are you feeling about this? How is your loan application going through? More than ever, and I know this whole screen thing is hard, but more than ever, just reaching out and talking to each other. And so that's what the Breakaway is really good at.
How many of these folks are in survival mode? And what would you say in terms of, the coming months, maybe year of that survival mode?
Man, James, that's a great question. Everybody's in survival mode in their own way. Everybody's battening down, kind of retrenching and saying, what can I do to maintain? We do have some clients who have already gone under. We also have some businesses who are pivoting and actually looking as an opportunity to expand. I was telling a client this morning, there was a headline in our local paper, the Oregonian, that said 1 in every 6 Oregonians is unemployed right now, which is devastating, and our heart goes out to them. But what we have to remind ourselves is the corollary is 5 out of 6 Oregonians are employed. And it's up to those 5 out of 6 Oregonians to actually reach out and make sure that when the time comes, when those healthcare milestones occur, that they are back and engaged and helping the state and their community and their region grow.
That's a really, really good point. And lonely times out there. Speaking of isolation, what's the craziest thing that you've done in isolation, Martin?
I sit outside. I don't know if it's crazy. I sit outside at 5 o'clock with a cocktail and play my ukulele. And I'm sure the neighbors are loving it, but that's my own stress relief.
Oh, that's outstanding. Well, this was supposed to be a cocktail hour. So maybe next time, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing a little bit of tidbit just in terms of the lens that you're seeing out there. And congratulations, everyone, for making it through their first breakaway coffee talk. No, it's not. It's just talking about topics of the day. So thanks for joining.
Thanks, James. It was fun. Bye, guys.